Yo, what's up guys? So today's video is gonna be about Succession Striker, the PvE combo that I usually use. We're gonna take a look at it, we're gonna check what skills we need, what skills we use, in which order, and we're gonna take a look also at skill addons, what kind of skill addons I'm using and why. So let's get started. So guys, we're gonna take a look at the combos separately, one by one, and then we're gonna go and take a look at the global, how you mix match those combos, skills, and where is the best to use them. Yeah, so the first combo that we're gonna take a look at, key chain combo, I like to call them. Well, chain combos, the flows, you know, the Crimson Fang one. Crimson Fang you have here, get used by Shift R and B, and then you have a different type of flows here. Yeah, but the ones that you want to be using is Death Strike, Bombardment, Venom Fang, and Final Blow. So those 5 skills make one chain of the combos. Yeah, and I highly recommend you guys to put them on the skill cooldown in the same what's called sequence that you want to be using them, so you know where you're messing up, or at the beginning, like when you're going into this new class, you don't know what the skill animations do, like you don't know what skills getting used. So when I was starting myself, it was a huge issue. I was doing wrong combos, missing some skills, and I was not aware of it, that I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, but once I put them into the skill cooldown here, as you can see, we have 5 skills in a row with the same order that they needs to be used. So if you see that some of this on cooldown, off cooldown, you see that you messed up. Yeah, so you try to correct it. So the first combo is Shift RMB, holding RMB and LMB. So these skills, yeah, Shift RMB, 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 LMB, LMB. While these flows, you're executing flows, you can hold the button RMB and then LMB. You don't need to be clicking it multiple times. That was also another mistake that I did. You can just hold them. You don't need to actively be clicking it. So Shift RMB, 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 LMB, LMB. So that's pretty much the Crimson Fang combo. And another skill that I usually like to use before the Crimson Fang combo is Knee Hammer. Yeah, Knee Hammer, it gives 20 AP. We have also a skill addon at the moment, monster 20 monster AP and 4 accuracy rate. It's a nice skill. You can use this Shift LMB and then go Shift RMB. It flows quite nicely. Let me show you guys here. And you see, I messed up this one. I didn't hold enough and used the wrong skill. This skill that I used instead of Bombardment is called Explosive Blow. Explosive Blow, it's another flow of Crimson Fang. So you can mess up with this one, like with Shift RMB, RMB, and then LMB, LMB. It will generate less shards than the correct 5 skill combo, and it deals a bit less damage than Bombardment. So you can just lock it. Yeah, you can lock it, and be wary of your timings. I messed up this combo mainly because I didn't have my crouching buff attack speed, 20% attack speed from the crouching wolf. So my muscle memory is a bit, I always have the 20% attack speed, so it's you know, too slow without it. The stagger is too slow. The timings needs to be quite perfect, and depending on the attack speed that you have, attack speed buffs, the timing can vary. So if you are not what's called careful enough, you can mess it up. But there you go. So that is the first combo. So there are a couple of skills that you need to lock to perform the combos, otherwise it will be kind of getting into the way. So the first skill is a Prime Hidden Claw. Yeah, lock that one. It has minus DP shred, but it's very small AoE, like you will hit only 1 or 2 mobs, and it gets into the wave, transitioning from Knee Hammer into the Crimson Fang. As you can see, it's gonna be using that skill before you use Crimson Fang if you don't lock it. Yeah, of course you can do it yeah, without using it, but I don't like having it because it's much easier to perform the combo if you have it locked. This next skill is absolute rock smash. Well, it is just a rock smash. This one needs to be locked for sure because it will mess up mess up the Crimson Fang combo, yeah. If you don't lock it, it will be using that skill instead of Crimson Fang after the knee hammer. So lock that rock smash. You don't need it. And we have also Twisted Coalition locked. I don't like it. It's it's just not that good to use anywhere, to be honest. So kind of just waste time if you misclick it. And one more skill. There is one more skill that I want you guys to lock. Is, as I said, explosive blow. I think we are already talking about it, but so those are the skills that you want to be locking. Mainly they are getting into the way of Crimson Fang. So the next one is called Adamantine Chain Combo. Well, as you guys guessed it starts with a skill called Adamantine. Just RMB, and then we have Ankle Hook, Martial Diva, and we go into the Savage Fang. So those skills is used, and again I have them on here, cooldown, yeah. So the tip here, yeah, after RMB you need to hold F, yeah. A lot of times I was trying to just click F, and you need to time it perfectly if you want to just click F to perform the ankle hook, yeah. So again, you can hold it. So you just do RMB, hold, messed up. You see what I'm doing? Okay, got it, Spyrock. RMB, holding F, and boom. You see, I missed again. I'm making so many mistakes, holy moly. But we missed this one because I swapped to the LMB too fast. Learn from my mistakes. Again, trying again, okay? Popping the buff, holding RMB, LMB. There you go. Now we managed to do it correctly. The skill starts with RMB, hold F, RMB, LMB. At this time, you can just hold RMB all the time, okay? You don't need to like the issues that I had, yeah, why it was because I was trying to release RMB, but you can just hold it. Look at this, hold RMB and then hold F, boom, and then at the late you swap to the LMB. So that is pretty much the combo, yeah. One thing to note is that this skill flow, Savage Fang, will consume the third shard, and consuming the third shard will give you 20%, not 20%, but 30% crit rate buff. Yeah, let me show you guys again. Holding LMB, and voila, you see it consumed the shard. But usually after this skill, if you use any other skill, or even just wait, it gives you third shard again, yeah, back basically. So guys, those were two chain combos that you want to be practicing. These chain combos are used as a fillers to your more or less main damaging skills, like big damaging skills. So let's talk about the big damage, like kind of longer cooldown skills. As you guys see, those chain combos are really short, really low cooldown, like 3-4 second cooldowns. And the big damage skills, there are, I would say, 3 skills that you want to be definitely using on cooldown, or at least try to use them on cooldown as much as possible, and using the Crimson Fang combo and Adamantine combo to basically fill out the spaces. So the 3 skills that I talked about is Roaring Tiger, used with the LMB RMB, Rage Hammer, used with Shift Q, and the third skill is a Rabam skill, the third Rabam called Wolf's Explosive Fang. So those 3 skills I usually like try to keep on cooldown as much as possible. The way the Roaring Tiger works is that it also consumes the third shard. So you want to be generating the shard, 3 shards, yeah, Another skill that you need to be worried about to generate shards and to consume shards, yeah, is of course Crouching Wolf. Crouching Wolf gives you 20% attack speed, so you want to be using this attack speed buff. I like to use it at the beginning of the pack. So at the beginning of the pack, we use LMB and spacebar. That's pretty much it. LMB and spacebar. It will consume the shards. 3 shards consumed. If you use Crouching Wolf without 3 shards, it will give you only 10% attack speed buff. So you want to have 3 shards available, consume it, and then we go into the Crimson Fang combo. And then that will generate. Be wary of here, yeah? You need some time after you use the Crimson Fang combo to get the third shard, so you cannot use the LMB RMB right after. You want to have some kind of filler skill to give it time to generate the third shard and then use the LMB RMB. I usually like to add crypt, at least for example, yeah. I usually like to do SQ. That's another skill that we want to, I forgot to mention. SQ is a skill for minus DP. It's called Somersault. Prime Somersault SQ gives minus 20 DP. I have a shred on it, and it's a good shred. So there are multiple possibilities here, but you want to be having 3 shards before using LMB RMB. That's the rule. At least because you want to get buff, the crit buff, 10-second crit buff as soon as possible in your combo, yeah? So you want to pop the SQ, or you can use skill like SC, yeah, and then pop LMB RMB, or you can also reposition yourself like this and then use LMB RMB. So there are multiple ways how you can play depending on the situation, but the rule is you want to have the 3 shards before using LMB RMB to get the 30% crit buff at the beginning of your combos, and well, to get more damage, of course. You want to have 100% crit rate, and talking about how to reach 100% crit rate, another useful, amazing skill that we need to mention, of course, is Wolf's Fang. Wolf's Fang is a skill that you can have 30 add-on, and it is spammable. That is the power of the Succession Striker. You can have tier 3 spammable skill add-on. So we put on it 30% crit rate, for sure. There are no doubts about that. And in this case, I have also evasion minus 5% because we are grinding crypts, and this skill add-ons are for the crypt. You can use the Wolf's Fang in a many different way, okay? After many different skills. And usually it's just clicking SRMB after the skill. So Shift Q, SRMB, boom. That was the Wolf's Fang. Or LMB, RMB, SRMB. Yeah? So, or you can use Adamantine plus SRMB. Adamantine, SRMB. As you guys see, the last one, there is a kind of continuation of the skill. After you use the Wolf's Fang, you can kind of use an iframe with the tapping S again, yeah? So for example, Shift Q, SRMB, S. You can hold this and then it will kind of move like backwards, make a distance. You can use it to reposition yourself a bit better, so have that in mind. And the third skill that I mentioned is Wolf's Fang, the third Rapam. You can use it after Wolf's Fang, the skill that we just mentioned. So let me show you guys how it is used. It is, the key inputs are after SRMB, Wolf's Fang, you click LMB, LMB, and then you can use also another Wolf's Fang after it. So like this, yeah? Let's make it weapons, Shift F. That was the basically Wolf's Fang. Third Rapam, Wolf's Fang. And another thing that I forgot about Wolf's Fang is that Wolf's Fang can be cancelled, the lingering animation after the Wolf's Fang, which you can see here, yeah? Can be cancelled, of course, with sidestep backwards, but if you don't want to move your character backwards, you can cancel it with a Shift LMB, the knee hammer that you usually use at the beginning of the Crimson Fang combo. So there you go. That is the cancel of the Crimson Wolf's Fang. And the next one, let's go take a look at two more skills. I briefly mentioned about them in the Crimson Fang combo. They are called Rampaging Predator and Skull Crusher. Those are used to extend some of the kind of filler skills. Yeah, you can use it with SC and WC. WC has a frontal guard, so it helps quite a lot in situations when you want to be not receiving damage at the addons or at crypt. It is nice skill to, instead of like backpedaling, you still keep doing damage, and if you time it correctly, you can block with the frontal guard the incoming damage. But they are decent, nice damage. What I like to use, how I like to use the Skull Crusher is, I usually after Skull Crusher I like to use SQ. So now I'm gonna show you guys how I combo using the skills that we talked before. Let's get into it. I will just show you guys. I will put in the text which key inputs it is, so it is easier for you guys. But as I said before, you can mix match depending on situations. It doesn't need to be like exactly this kind of combo, yeah, but this is how I usually do it. So let's get into it. So guys, that was pretty much all the combos that you want to know about Succession Striker. You can mix match them as you fit, but the main things are you want to keep your 20% attack speed buff from the Crouching Wolf, the 3 shard consumption. Oh wait, one more thing about talking about attack speed buff. They do not stack, okay? Attack speed from E buff and Crouching Wolf does not stack. Attack speed from Z buff does not stack with the Crouching Wolf also. So that's why, like, you know, at addons, some people prefer to transfer Rage to the Shy, because strikers can still have the 20% attack speed buff, but Shy gets 50% crit rate, which is insane, and their damage gets boosted. So it kinda depends on grouping and the synchronization of the transfer. If you don't waste time on it, it is better in my opinion, but sometimes it's a bit hard to, you know, transfer correctly and not waste time. So back to the keynotes of the Succession Striker. You want to be keeping the 20% attack speed buff from Crouching Wolf. You want to be using LMB RMB with the Sword Shard to get the 30% crit rate buff. You want to be using LMB RMB on cooldown. You want to be using Shift Q on cooldown, and you want to be using the Sword Rabam on cooldown, the triple Hadouken on cooldown basically, yeah. And of course there are another skills. The last skill of the Adamantine combo also consumes the Sword Shard, but mainly I do get the Sword Shard consumption buff from LMB RMB, because you want to be spamming it regardless. Alright, let me show you guys skeletons on the Striker. One thing that I want to mention is that the skills, the flows from the Crimson Fang and Adamantine will trigger the skeletons of the main skill. So for example, here, the Crimson Fang, we have skeleton of attack speed 7% and instantly recover HP, 10 HP per hit. We are grinding currently crypt, so the current skeletons are tailored for the crypt grinding to make a more survivability. We have HP recovery on the hit. So all the skills, all the 4 flows of the Crimson Fang will be triggering the same skeleton. You can see it here now. We have 7% attack speed. By the end of the Crimson Fang, okay, messed up guys, messed up. Okay, at the end of the Crimson Fang, we still have 7-second attack speed buff. So because it was refreshed by the flow skills. The same with Adamantine. So on Adamantine, we again have a 10 HP recovery per hit, and we have another attack speed because we do like to pop Adamantine in a kind of at the end of the combo, so we want to have the attack speed buff up all the time. At least that's how I like it. So those are the two skills, because 10% HP on those is very, very good, because all these skills, the flows, will also inherit the 10 HP recovery. So that's an amazing survivability kit for the creep grinding. So the next skill add-on is Wolf's Fang. You definitely want to be having Wolf's Fang. It's a 30 skill add-on that can be spammed. That's the uniqueness of the striker, succession striker, that you have 30 skill add-on that is spammable. And for the crit grinding, we have, well, 30% crit rate needs to be there regardless where you grind. So this is one thing that you want to know. 30% crit rate needs to be there to reach 100% crit rate on the striker. Before, for some reason, I thought 1 crit level, it gives you 5% crit rate. But sadly, it gives only 4. So if you don't have the 30 skill add-on with the crit rate, you'll be at 95% with all the buffs, yeah? Because you have 25% from the passive, you have 30% from the consumption, shard consumption, and you have 20% from the 5 levels, and you will have 20% from the crit rate, resulting in 95% crit rate. That's not optimal. You want to have 100%. The 5% crit rate is huge. When I swapped to the 30 crit rate add-on, it was quite significant boost of my DPS. The next skill, Somersault, Shred, minus DP and plus DP, because, well, you kind of want to have a bit some DP at Crypt. Knee Hammer is, we use it at the beginning of the Crimson Fang all the time, so AP and accuracy for 7 seconds. It's a spammable skill, so you can just spam it, and it will be recovering your skill add-ons whenever you want. But it does consume stamina, so don't spam it. It's not worth it. And Roaring Tiger, the last skill add-on with a back attack and crit hit damage for 5 seconds. Why this one is because, well, it's damage. It's extra damage, guys. I like to have the skill add-on because it's quite significant amount of damage. And Roaring Tiger has also 5 second cooldown. So if I spam it on cooldown, I will have this buff active all the time. And that's why I like to spam it, yeah, as you guys could see, I like to spam the Roaring Tiger as much as possible. So, that is pretty much the skill add-ons that I'm having currently. Basically, main thing when you're making the skill add-ons is to have this one, 30% crit rate on Wolf's Fang. For the crypt, yeah, I like to have evasion rate -5 because you need a lot of accuracy. Wolf's Fang is amazing skill, as in AoE, so applying with that AoE 5% evasion shred, I will take it. I will gladly take it. I can show you guys the skill add-ons that you use usually for what it's called all-ons grinding, yeah. This is my own grinding skill add-ons. We don't have hit rate stuff, but again, kind of more or less the same, but we have back attack and crit on the Crimson Fang instead. On the Crimson Fang. AP attack mob Wolf Fang 30%, attack speed 10%. Like to have more attack speed with the Wolf's Fang, and because you can spam Wolf's Fang, it's basically up all the time. Or rather, you want to have it all up all the time. But I think that's pretty much it. On Adamantine I have some movement speed, because I usually finish the combo or finish the mobs with Adamantine, and then I'll move to the next target. And another thing that I forgot to mention is the movement, mobility. How I forgot to mention it, huh? So the mobility, you use W shift, that's a 4-second dash. You can use it up to 3 times without any consumptions. If it's off cooldown, you can dash 3 times, 1, 2, 3. That's it. You get 20%, 30% movement speed buff. But what I usually like to do when I need to move for a long distance, I dash 3 times, click LMB and put the weapons away. This way I get also the movement speed 30% buff from the passive. And then we can continue zooming on the striker. Then every 4 seconds you can go just dash with the shift LMB. Yeah, when you're without the weapons, you can just click Shift, W Shift LMB, and boom, another LMB. That's basically how I run between the packs when you need to run for a long distance. I do not like to use shards. You can use shards when the skill is on cooldown, your dash is on cooldown. You can use shards, well, depending on how many shards you have, but each dash consumes 1 shard. But I do not like that because I like to consume the shards at the beginning of the pack to get the 20% attack speed buff. So that was the combo that I usually use, guys. Hope it was helpful, but do remember that I am not like striker enthusiast. I just grind on him, so it might not be the perfect one. I might have not using some skills that other strikers like to use, but it works for me, and hopefully it was helpful. If it was helpful, guys, like and subscribe, and until the next time, guys, bye bye.